All right, I'm rusty. I ain't been on in like 2 weeks. What better way to go against them? The damn Cowboys.
And right away, he lost the football. And the Falcons grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
To put it mildly, that is not the way anyone wants to start off a game. You fumble on your first offensive snap. But now what you're worried about is, does that linger throughout the game for your guys on offense?
I haven't played this in so long, yo. This is crazy.
No one expects to run out on the field on the first play and have to all of a sudden start to play themselves.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And that
Negative
one blown
6?
up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Call it a loss of 6 on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
Ready, blue 80. Mike's by 4. They get hey,
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A gain there of 21 yards.
That's good for Falcons. First down. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line.
25. 54. Mike, 54. Watch the run,
This is Freeman on 1st and 10.
Come on, come on,
much
Freeman.
to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 2nd and 9, Ryan, that's caught over the middle.
Hey, you trying to blitz me, dog? Come on, man.
Into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who
Hey,
doesn't
look,
like that start.
it's been a while. It ain't been that long.
Like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football. All right, when you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much.
He's going to try to blitz me
Let's put it in the end zone.
the
and
whole
they did
game.
exactly that.
So it's a whole lot of RPOs, whole lot of screens being played, quick passes, a lot of underneath routes, you know.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Tackle made by Devondre Campbell.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. Dak and the offense still out there. They are going to go for it.
What a very aggressive person you are.
On 4th, they do snap it to Prescott. Complete to Jason Witten. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Out of the gun, it's Elliott. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it with 2nd down and less than a yard. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Here's Elliott, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
Well, to me, that's taking a big gamble defensively because that alignment you see, that's normally something you see down near the goal line. Because now, if they decide to go play action, something should be open there, and I think open big.
So maybe that's something that gets filed away for later.
I think without a doubt, you write it
I
down.
think he's trying to catch me
look at a later
on the
date,
play action.
go ahead and take your shot.
And it's not going to work.
34 now. Here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, a give to Elliott. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. They'll try to throw now. Prescott trying to get it to Cobb, and it's intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Casey. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Well, Charles, if you think so far the early part of the preseason, who has stood out? If you take a peek back at the draft, the first round, it was pretty defensively minded, but there were 3 quarterbacks taken. Kyler Murray first, Daniel Jones 6th, Dwayne Haskins 15th. Of those guys, they've looked pretty good.
I agree with you, Brandon. When you talk about those 3 quarterbacks, and you're right, the rest of the draft, we're talking about big linemen, right? We're talking about defensive players, not a lot of skill players in the first round. But let's take the quarterbacks very quickly. Kyler Murray, by acclamation, went to Arizona. Everyone excited about it. And I think his team remains excited about his prospects. They're eager to see him play. He became the starter as soon as he was drafted. Daniel Jones, that was a different situation in New York. The fans weren't real excited about him coming in, but the reason they drafted him has a similar demeanor and talent to Eli Manning, and he's acquitting himself quite nicely in the early going. And Dwayne Haskins a little more up and down in Washington, but they love the big arm of this guy, and he's back at home. Remember, he grew up in Potomac, Maryland.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And finding the tight end Hooper. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys 14. From the red zone now, here's Ryan on first down.
Oh, my God. It landed in his hand.
Over there as his guys will get the football back. Well, let's have some fun while we have a minute here. Fantasy drafts are in full swing. I know I've got my family fantasy draft coming up, Charles. Who would be your top 3 picks? I know that you're a noted fantasy football expert, so who would you take?
Well, you've got to start with guys who are going to touch the football and put it in the end zone, right? You got to score points. How about Saquon Barkley with the Giants?
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Tech McKinley made his way into the backfield. 2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. 2nd and long. Prescott, and able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
We cannot allow him to score
to go with
by
a dime
any means
package.
necessary
It's
on this
TVs.
drive.
Yeah, you're right. They've got 6 out there. To throw is Prescott. Looking for his tight end, Witten, and it's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And that'll make the score 14-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
At their own 31-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
Oh,
Third time
let's
here
go.
this half, it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and he will score. Touchdown, Falcons.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so
I thought he
well.
had missed
Yeah,
that
they
joint,
didn't get
yo. I
overexcited
timed it
and have a
perfectly.
bust on defense and
Yo,
gave up a big play instead.
It's
They
off by a
created their own
little
big play with a
smidge,
pick
yo.
6.
You see,
This one may
I
be over.
jumped right
it's
after I
just
threw the
first half, but
interception.
that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're
You don't
down.
want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already.
No
You've
huddle.
done nothing offensively.
Oh, he called
nothing
timeout.
on the
Okay,
scoreboard.
okay.
That's not a good combination.
Okay.
I think you
Now
just
you
called
can
it.
go.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it. You mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Prescott looks to throw on first. Going right side, he has Witten. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. Just they move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
A first opportunity in the red zone for the Cowboys. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Here's Prescott. And that's going to be incomplete. 12
I thought that was a
seconds
fumble,
left.
though. They moved the camera like it was a fumble.
Brings up 2nd and
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Prescott yet again. That one complete to Elliott. There'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
it's a gain of 2 yards. And it's 3rd down.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. To the air again, Prescott.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Line, but it's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
Brings up 4th down.
So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. The kick by Maher is good. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
This is taken near the 13. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just
man,
working
come
with them
on, man.
Here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Second and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one good for 37 yards. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. They toss to Freeman.
Yo, how is he getting there untouched? You literally had 2 blockers over there.
It'll set him back for 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Looking downfield for Joe. This is caught inside the 15. It's a gain of 34. And that's now 2 big catches on this drive for him.
You know, the NFL keeps talking about the possibility of using video for coaching on the sidelines. That's not approved yet, but you can still use pictures. They've got to send his picture down to their defense and say, you see him? Cover him.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. This is caught. It's Sanu this time for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu there to make the grab. And the Falcons push further out in front. Tavecchio good on the extra point. And they open the lead up now to 25. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned.
Now.
Because some teams script to start a half.
I like.
Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Another 18-yard gain. They had 18 on the previous snap as well. Dak dropping this one off for Zeke. Give him 8 on the play, and it's a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing
you moving the ball.
as a lot of receivers, tight ends.
I just don't know what's going on, yo.
In the open field.
And he lost the football, and the Falcons grab it.
Where did he come from?
Turnover there as his guy ball back. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Ryan. The left side completion to Jones. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Ryan. An incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down. Well, Charles, while we have a moment, you know what we need to do here is give a nod to the new Hall of Famers who were brought into Canton and inducted on August the 3rd. Champ Bailey, Pat Bolin, Gil Brandt, Tony Gonzalez, Ty Law, Kevin Mawai, Ed Reed, and Johnny Robinson, all part of the class.
Fantastic class. When you talk about guys who played at a top level, obviously.
Really? You could have caught that.
But what I found interesting about it is you've got a great pass catcher, the best pass-catching tight end in history, in Tony Gonzalez. How would he like to work against this secondary? Champ Bailey and Ty Law at corner, Ed Reed and Johnny Robinson at safety. Good luck trying to get open against those four. What a matchup that would have been, but it was a terrific night for those gentlemen. Congratulations. And, of course, Ed Reed's bust will go down in history because they got that right. And Ed had a ball up there in his Hall of Fame speech.
Oh, he dropped that.
Next year, they're going to celebrate the centennial year of the NFL with a special class of 20. So get ready for those speeches.
I wonder if they'll do it like Johnny Robinson this year,
where's
who
the
actually
football?
submitted a video instead of going up to the podium. And his speech was about 5 minutes long, which is probably about the right length.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. Now Ryan. He's got Sanu. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So not only do they convert on 4th, but they pick up 22 yards in the process. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And that's going to do it. Clock hits zeros. They're not going to get another playoff. Time has run out on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Ready, 5:25. Check. Walk 54. Don't let him breathe. Play that tight D.
Freeman again. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Ryan. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Off the edge, it's Tyrone Crawford with a sack. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Ryan. Throw left side complete. That's Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
Partner, he sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. Let's see who's faster.
Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. It's coming, and down he goes.
I had Julio wide open.
Getting in and getting to the QB.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack.
He came in literally
excellent
untouched.
Pressure up front, nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Gotta do better.
4th down. Here's Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Facing a fourth down, they come away with 18 yards and the first down
dog. You gotta play better defense than that.
11 to 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Now a toss right. Freeman.
Oh, my God.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? A first down throw for Prescott. Look at the spin. And that's Elliott, complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because
pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Vic Beasley making it look easy, cruising in for the sack. And they'll need a big play here, will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 37. Line of scrimmage moves from one 37-yard line to the other as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing, Prescott, and that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front,
I thought I picked that off because I definitely was going too deep crazy with that.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible. Hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive.
Thank you.
Pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by DeMonte Casey. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. The lefty Tavecchio now to add the extra point.
What a great way to come back. What a great way to come back. I've been away for a while. I'm back in full effect. Back like I never left.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone,